Hi and welcome to part 2. So in this video I'm going to show you how to mark the track out. I've got my piece of plywood here, and then I'm going to show you how to joint 18mm plywood. That's the plywood that I'm using for this project. And then how to assemble the timberwork. I'm going to show you what I've done, and then I'm going to show you the corner solution that I've come up with to integrate the legs, the double-sided legs. Show you how to mark those out and cut them, and then how to assemble everything together so you've got the finished table. Right, so the first thing I've done, in part 1 I showed you how to design your track, and I've got a section of it here laid out, and this is my finalised design. So I've got just a normal engineering pencil. I'm just going to draw around it so I know where my track goes. So it's really simple, pretty easy. And the inside as well. Make sure you've got it everywhere. Yep. Right, so that's my track laid out. That's where my track's going to go. You can see the pencil mark there. So that's where I'm going to screw my track down. Right, so I've put the track to one side to keep it safe from dust and ever. Just checking that my track's marked out, and now this bit's done, so I can put that to one side as well. So now I'm going to show you how to join, well, the type of timber that I'm using for my baseboard. So this is the type of timber that I'm using. It's 18mm birch faced ply. It is quite expensive. It's about £60 a sheet, something like that. You can only get it really from good timber merchants, but they will sell it. The best thing about if you go to a decent timber merchant is that they will cut it for you to length. So if you decide what parts you need and you take your cutting list down there, then they'll do it for you. So the thing about plywood is you can see there the plies on the end here. Screws go in that way. They don't like to go in that way because they split the ply all that way. So you can only really cut into it one place. So question is, how do you do a joint like that, a butt joint like that? I mean, you can do lots of other things with routing and things, but it's very time consuming and I haven't got the patience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thing called a pocket hole kit. Now what this does is it drills into the timber, and it allows you to put a special screw in to pull it tight. So what does a pocket hole kit look like? Basically it's all it is, with these special screws that you need as well. So how does it work? Well, let's just get a clamp and another block to drill on. It's quite simple. You need a drill as well, and I've set my collar here. I can't remember what that was. You do it with trial and error. It's about I don't know, 12 centimeters. But you can see here when you put it in how far it goes through. So hopefully you can see that there, how much it sticks out. So all you need to do, I'll put a couple of holes into this one, is get your little block thing here, clamp it down. This is quite easy, even a child could do this. Now it's all clamped down, hold it tight. There's one. See there's the nice hole, and then the next one. And then there we go. So that's that done with, that's finished. So you can see there, it does give you that those holes there, you can see. Now to make your joint, all you need to do is, I would recommend clamping something to the bench or whatever it is you're going to, this is what I did when I built mine. So put it on there so it's good and tight. Put the sawdust out of the way. And then I'm using an impact driver, but you can use obviously a drill driver. And then you get a pocket hole kit. You get a super extra long triangular drill bit like that, and you need these special screws, which are a little bit more expensive than normal screws, but they are the best to this job. So you put that in there like that, and there like that. So move this along the bench a little bit. So this is what I'm just going to use to push into it. So that's going to be the edge of my piece. Put that in like that, and then simply keep force on it, and then just whoops. Let's try the other one first because it's pushing into the clamp. There you go. I mean, you would obviously spend a lot more time and care with that, but that's a really strong, you know, look, you can see how strong that is. And I mean, I glued it as well, but that's all it is. The great thing is as well, if you haven't glued it and you wanted to move it, just take these out. The joints come apart. Really easy. I think I paid £20 for this set, and I've used it an awful lot. Right, so using that method, I have built my baseboard frame here. I don't have any video of me putting this together, and it probably wouldn't have been a very interesting video anyway. But you can see here the joints that I've used. So the end dimension is, well, from here to here is 600, and then it's another 18 and 18. So that's 636 millimeters from the outside edge to the outside edge, and then again from here. Sorry, from the inside all the way up to here is 1600. So overall, the baseboard measures 1636 millimeters. What I've also done is to give it a little bit of stiffness, and for something for the timber to land on, I've taken these. I had the woodyard cut these 40mm stiffeners in, which I've just pushed in. Now the idea, sorry, not pushed in, I've screwed and glued in there, so it gives it really good stiffness. I've also put this web in here just to support the centre of the board. Now measurements here, this is going to be my slot car side, and the other side is going to be my model railway side. So I worked out, so that I could fit it under the bed, it had to have a maximum of 70 millimeters height from here to here, so that stacked up it's 21 centimeters, so that it'll slide under the bed. And I worked out that underneath the model railway needed about 24 millimeters of height, so I just put spaces under, stacked space under here when I was assembling it, and then whatever was left I'm going to use for my slot car track. Right, so that is the framework done. You know, if you do decide to make something like this, you probably have your own dimensions, but that's what I settled on. Right, for the legs, because it's going to be double-sided, I spent ages trying to work out how I was going to have a leg, how a solution to have a leg going both sides. I've got these old staircase spindles, which are quite nice. They're made of oak, and I had a lot of those. So I cut 6 in half, and I've got 12 legs, 4 for each table. And after several iterations of trying to work out how to plug them into the table, I came up with this 3D printed sort of model here. It's black and white because I quite like the Stormtrooper kind of colour scheme. But you can see what happens here. This fits together like this. So this piece, this outrigger, goes in here because it gives a nice clean finish when you print it. That bit goes on that side, like that. And then this, the leg, goes into this separate model here. I put screw holes in there so it fits nicely on the end. Put a couple of, what are these, 4mm by 4mm screws. You just need to torque them up a little bit so that it doesn't slip. You can see there, that's a really nice fit in there. That's also this model here has got a little, it's an M50 by 175 thread if you're interested, and I've threaded the end of that as well, so that fits in there like that. You do need a little bit of lubrication the first time that goes in, but it goes in that side and it will go in that side, so it's, you know, it's double ended. Now this model is all available in the link below on my Thingiverse page. But the gap in there is 18mm. Now I do recommend you glue that together with super glue, but when you've done that, fits in there like that, so that each corner has got its own corner fitting like that, and these very quickly screw in, oops, like that. When it's glued together it won't do that. Job done. Right, so I'm going to go and glue them together and I'll show you how they fit. Right, so now I put the track back on the baseboard frame. Just draw your attention to this. I cut out a section here to allow the track to pass through the edge of the baseboard. Doesn't affect the strength of it because there's plenty of timber in that area, but it's just a good point to note out there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to I've printed this little template. It's actually a spare part of the 3D printed corner unit that I had. And what I'm going to do with a pencil, I'm just going to mark around like that and like that. Like that. And like that. So, because these pieces here are the same thickness as the baseboard, you know, it will give a smooth fit onto there. So what I need to do, move everything out of the way and just cut through these. So right, so this is pretty easy. I'm just using I've got a cordless jigsaw because I don't like to cut through my own cord, but just using a standard wood bit, and then you just there you go. You can probably sand that down as well, and just do that on each corner. And there we go. I've cut each corner. So I go and get my frame again. Here it is. And then I fit my little gizmos that go in the corner like so. One, two, sure that they're all around the right same way. And four. There we go. Let's just check that that fits okay. Whoops, that's running all right. Whoops, that one's shifted. Right, so we're not a million miles off. So what I'm going to use to clean that up is the trusty Dremel again. So I can see there where the gap, well, I've not quite got it right. You could use sandpaper, but this is a lot quicker and a lot neater. There we go. You can see there that fits nice and flush around there. And given that that one is done, I can screw that one down. So what I'm using for this is same old 20mm long 4mm screws. Get me impact driver again and just screw this down. In the model I've put in countersunk holes for a 4mm screw, so you can see there that goes in really nicely. There we go. There's one corner done. Repeat for the other 4 corners, and job's good. And so, whoops. Just quickly show you how the leg fits. It screws in really neatly like that, and it's pretty strong actually. Next thing to do when I make sure I've got all of my make sure that all the corners fit really neatly is to just screw the, I've pre-drilled here, but you can just screw the board down. I'll quickly show you how you do that. I just put in these same 20mm screws. There we go. And then you just, yeah, the board is complete. So here's the table finished. You can see here each corner has got its legs screwed in. There will be another sheet on here, but I've just left it on. So you can see there the detailed shot of how the legs look when they're filled in. And here's the table all finished. So you can see there it's on its legs. You can see there that's where the track goes, and it's ready to be built up. So here's the track all set up in my spare room. You can see it's pretty much as I planned it, ready to race. You can see here all the corner fittings. I put some track edging on, but it's actually quite a fun little circuit.